madrasa education and other such things for minorities, getting 5,000 crores, which means 4 times more. Or another way of looking at it is 400% more than what is allotted for MSME. Then obviously, people are going to wonder, is there an agenda in operation here? Are the priorities correct from the budget's perspective?
It is a proven fact to this country that BJP is a party of Islamophobes.
They don't have any moral right to criticize the budget presented by Mamata Banerjee.
Namaskar, good evening. You're watching Nation Wants to Know and I'm Swati Joshi. As the saffron march across the country continues, the regional satraps are now focusing on consolidating their vote bank. Now in the latest, Mamata Banerjee-led TMC Sarkar in West Bengal presented its last full-fledged budget ahead of polls next year, in which the focus was on social welfare, minority welfare and women empowerment. A huge bawal has erupted over the said budget, primarily due to the allocation that has happened to the Minority Affairs Department. The BJP is accusing the TMC of prioritizing their vote bank over the people of the state as a whole. As per the budget for the upcoming financial year, the Minority Affairs and the Madrasa Education Department has been allocated over 5,600 crore rupees, which is much higher than several other critical departments that are related to infrastructure and industries. The TMC has hit back, saying that the BJP is only leveling these allegations because the BJP itself has nothing to show as to what they have done in the last 11 years in power at the centre, also accusing the BJP of being a party of Islamophobes. Let's take you through the budget allocation and let's compare it to what the other departments have got. Now, this is the whopping 5,602 crore rupees budget for the Minority Affairs and Madrasa Education that has been allocated. Take a look at the Power Department. 4,141 crores allocated to the Power Department. 2,423 crores given to the backward classes welfare, meant for the welfare of the backward classes. 2,273 crore rupees meant for the Transport Department. And continuously keep on drawing parallels between what the Minority Affairs Department has got versus what we are playing out here on this side of the screen. 1,228 crores given to the MSME sector. Let's talk about the other departments. As far as the North Bengal development is concerned, 866 crore rupees have been allocated. But it's this allocation, the over 5,000 crore rupees allocation to the Minority Affairs and Madrasa Education Department, that has led to a massive political face-off. Now, let's open this up and go across to our guests. We're joined by Shatrupa, BJP spokesperson. We have Rashmi Sawant, activist. Lokesh Jindal is joining us on the broadcast. We also have Professor Monojit Mandal, political analyst. Good evening to all of you. Mr. Mandal, I'd like to begin with you. The Bharatiya Janata Party says this is, a prime classic example of the appeasement politics that the West Bengal government is practicing, especially after Delhi Dangal, ensuring that the core vote bank does not move anywhere away.
The BJP is a party of the shameless Islamophobia, including some of these English-speaking spokesperson lawyers who spoke before me. How much money was allocated to the education department for the education of the people of Bengal? 41,000 crores. And I'm really astonished by the nitpicking that you just did in your report without going into the other aspects of the budget. I'm saying 41,000 crores allocated for the school education department, right? So how much that's in comparison to what the Minority Affairs and Madrasa Education was given to? Just 8 times more than that. How much money has been allocated for the welfare schemes? Again, 55,000 crores. And that will benefit all the people of this state, right? How much money for the Shastra Sati, one of the paid projects of Bengal, and which was followed by, or rather imitated badly by Mr. Modi in the form of Ayushman Bharat? It is 9,000 crores. I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, this is a budget which is meant for all the classes of people. Perhaps the most inclusive and decisive budget, even for the middle class people. You had the increase of dearness allowance.
Okay.
All the people of the Bengal are smiling. Only the loser, the BJP, I'm saying they're not even going to get 30 seats in the next election. They are grumpy. They have already seen the plot of losing, And that's why this nitpicking is done.
Okay, let me bring in Shatrupa. Shatrupa, Mr. Mondal says that the West Bengal government has given even more, as far as the education department is concerned, and that is going to provide education to everyone and ensure upliftment and welfare of everyone, irrespective of the religion that they belong to. So who is dragging in or injecting religion into this?
Swati, first of all, good evening to all of you. Some things I believe don't change, like Manojit Mondal starts off with accusing BJP even before BJP says a single word. Anyway, now the state of education in Bengal, the less talked about, the better. Even if I start with Saraswati Puja, which worshipping the goddess of education, she, poor woman, comes a very humble person, very peaceful person, comes with a swan, but has to be worshipped with police sitting outside. So the lesser we talk about education in West Bengal, even today, before joining your channel, there was a news from in West Bengal that in a school, in a particular school, the headmaster has been beaten with an iron rod because of some problem with the routine, and the problem was with who? Trinamool goons. So let's forget about education as of now, but based on what the charts that you have shown and of course the data that I have, it is very clear. First of all, this budget, I don't think anybody in West Bengal is happy, because the first question is, all these big amounts, where is the income coming from?
Right.
Because West Bengal keeps crying that they start off a budget saying that the center has deprived them. So even if I forget about the fact that it's a very imaginary income that they are trying to budget, when you are allocating more than half of your budget allocation, much more than half, for a particular community, and specifically saying that you are allocating it from this community, then obviously the opposition is going to say, it's going to point out. Number one. Number two, you are also allocating a certain amount for other backward class. Now, you know very well, Swati, few months back, here was Mamata Banerjee, I think most probably during the Lok Sabha elections, it came to the forefront that she has been trying to forge certificates for OBC and getting in Muslim community even there. So the entire budget is for her Dudhel Guru. If you remember,
only trying to consolidate the core vote bank, which is the Muslim vote bank. This is appeasement politics, and this is your last budget of the TMC. So making all efforts to ensure that there's no split of votes between the TMC and the left when it comes to the minority vote bank. Professor Manojit Mondal, please do respond. Now, one would also remind you, are you still with us or have we lost the connection? One would also remind you of the multiple measures and decisions taken by this government that seem to be favoring one side, whether it was the Imam Bhatta, increasing that Imam Bhatta, or the other incidents that have been cited by Shatrupa. Please respond.
First of all, she doesn't know that minorities means there are other communities also. It's not because of their ingrained Islamophobia, they only see one particular community as the minority.
Other minorities go to madrasas?
It's because,
not for the madrasa. This is for the Minority Affairs Department. This is which is also running the madrasas. This 5,600 crores is for the Minority Affairs Department, and in comparison to the Education Department only, it is just 1/8 of the figure. I'm saying 41,000 crores were allocated for the Education Department only. For the higher education, it is more than 9,000. I'm giving you the welfare scheme of 55,000 for all the people of Bengal, all the 70 welfare schemes that Mamata Banerjee ran so proudly. What are you talking about?
Okay, Rashmi Samant, Professor Manojit Mondal saying BJP may be saying Sabka Saath, but the party that is actually ensuring Sabka Saath and Sabka Vikas is the TMC in West Bengal.
Well, Swati, West Bengal is one state where the allocation to the minority affairs and the madrasa development has increased by 12 times from 2011 to 2025. That is extremely alarming. I think if Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas was what TMC wanted to do, then there would be a fair allocation of the budget to all classes of society, those in need. Here we are talking about how unfair and unbalanced the allocation is. We are talking about, almost 5,600 crores going into minority affairs and madrasa education when the state of West Bengal suffers from lack of basic infrastructure, education. We don't even have to get started on healthcare. There's a epidemic of quacks running berserk in West Bengal. Development of North Bengal. That's something nobody even wants to talk about. And they've just thrown about 800 crores in that direction.
Yes.
So when there is a problem with respect to basic resources, basic infrastructure in a state, basic healthcare, to allocate such a huge sum to one particular community is very alarming.
Okay.
And this comes behind Dr. Ambedkar explicitly going against religious-based reservations.
So let me bring in Lokesh Jindal, Rashmi Sawant and Shatrupa are continuously trying to highlight that there's a problem when it comes to allocating such a huge amount to the minority welfare department and not ensuring that there's fair distribution or not paying enough attention to the infrastructure or the issue of unemployment. So why would one not ask if this is appeasement politics? Where does the government's priority lie is evident?
Yes, certainly. In fact, I had just gone through the budget document, and one aspect was that the government had reduced the capital expenditure compared to the previous year. Now, if you talk about populist schemes, they are usually charged upon the revenue expenditure. And the reason why the Bengal government is able to pursue such populist scheme is the contracting revenue deficit that it has seen over a period of time. Now, this was a sweet spot. Bengal could have utilized this as an opportunity to have greater capital expenditure outlay. In fact, the Economic Advisory Council had pointed out that investment in Bengal are declining. The MSME sector is witnessing a significant decline.
And despite that, look at the allocation for the MSME sector versus what we are debating. Lokesh.
See, if you look at the Bengal, it is surrounded by, we have Raniganj, you have Durgapur steel industry is very much in decline. Once it used to be the powerhouse. And when you talk about the ports in Bengal, they are not having the traffic that it used to a time ago. And then other sectors, if you look at the agriculture also, it is the highest producer of rice and all other aspects. I would say that Bengal has always been a land of opportunities, a land of resource plenty, and I don't think 6.8% growth rate is a growth rate for Bengal. Bengal deserves a double-digit growth rate.
Bengal deserves a double-digit growth rate, and there are sectors like MSME where the government could have spent more money. Mr. Mondal.
First of all, the steel industry largely is run by the Steel Authority of India. My good friend from the Congress party, please let me talk. I know what I'm talking about. Have you ever been to Raniganj and Durgapur? Have you ever been to how many factories are being?
You don't know. Most of the time I'm there in Raniganj and Durgapur. You don't tell me about the steel sector in Durgapur, how it functions and what is the capacity right now it is happening.
And they are declining since the last 30 years, not just now.
Steel Authority of India is just having one fund.
Hang on, stop being a BJP stooge on TV.
One second, please. That's not required. That's not required. If somebody is countering you presenting their set of data and research does not mean that they are the stooge of some other political party. No, that's not fair. Present your point, but if somebody is countering you, do not go after them with name calling.
He's lying on TV.
Then you can counter him back.
I'm countering, but why is it disturbing? Is it courtesy? Did I disturb him while he was speaking?
Go ahead.
You're disturbing me.
Go ahead.
So to run it properly, if you have called me to run it properly, I didn't disturb anyone. When MMMC was shut down 30 years back, Congress government was in the forefront in Durgapur. That's one of the biggest industries created by Nehru. Do you do anything at that point of time? So don't talk about this. And you talk about the declining industry. What happened to Nano in Gujarat?
Okay.
The decline is happening everywhere in the country.
Okay. Lokesh Jindal and then Shatrupa. I have to wrap up very quickly. Lokesh and then Shatrupa.
Today when I talk about Asansol, I talk about Durgapur. Durgapur, they are no more contributing enough. You go to the Durgapur industrial area, you will see plants are shutting down, plants are for sale, and there is a distress sale that is happening. When I'm talking about MSME sector, nobody, even with respect to Raniganj, even the miners, they have refused to undertake the mining activity.
Okay.
There is
But the focus instead, you're saying, but the focus instead is on ensuring that you get the votes of your core vote bank. Shatrupa, quick comment.
Exactly, Swati, I completely agree with what Lokesh has been saying and what Rashmi has been saying. The point here is, Mamata Banerjee has been showing in various ways that she is all for the minority politics. Monojit, in his various levels of getting personal with other opponents, has completely denied the fact that minority, of course, means everybody who's a geographical minority, a minority in any geographical area. But in Mamata Banerjee's case, it is Muslims, for Muslims, of Muslims, and by Muslims. And this is what we are pointing out, because Mamata Banerjee says nothing when her key.
All right. So the BJP, yes, the BJP, the left, and many in the Congress also hitting out, saying that this is nothing but politics of polarization. The TMC hitting back says BJP is a party of Islamophobes. That's the criticism and the political war of words that is underway in West Bengal. Thank you very much, Shatrupa, Rashmi Samant, Lokesh Jindal, and Mr. Mondal.